with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to layer up a couple of new stencils and create a fun Valentine's Day card for my hubby. So hopefully he won't see this, but I have a couple of stencils. This Smitten Pair reminds me of him and I, so I feel like it's a good fit. And I have some blingage from Colorful Life Designs, which is actually now available in the shop, so I'll tell you more about that as we go along. But I'm going to use some ink pads from Catherine Pooler. I have Cotton Candy, Flirty Fuchsia, and Blackjack. I'll use all three of those to create this lovely easy card. Here's I'll show you the direction that we're headed, but I kind of did some subtle ink blending so that I could show these hearts behind the silhouette design. Now I lined it up initially. Now you can see it's actually all being held down right in my Misty with my awesome Waffle Flowers sticky mat. So this is really nice to hold it in place within my Misty, not only for stamping, but you'll also see for stenciling in this case. So most of the time I'm going to do my stenciling right on my craft mat, which is magnetic, and I hold everything down with my magnets, but I wanted to try it out within my Misty to see how well it held down the stencil, and it really did do a good job. So this is another option if you don't have a craft mat and you want to try one of these sticky mats. I am finding it quite helpful within my Misty, mainly just to kind of hold everything in place in terms of the panel or the card base, but this was a nice additional benefit, having it to hold down the stencil on the edges of it held it down really well. So I went with that Flirty Fuchsia after just a light ink blending with the pink, and now I'm going to come in with the silhouette. Now this is one you'd probably benefit from using pixie spray. I was just being lazy, to be honest, and I did again use the sticky mat from Waffle Flowers just to hold the stencil down, but on the details of the face you want to be really careful with your ink blending if you're not using pixie spray, just because there is a little bit of detail, around the nose and the hairline and things like that. So just being a little fussy here, getting it lined up right. Just because it's a pretty simple card, so you want to make sure everything is, kind of where you want it. And I masked off the very top bit of the card that was poking out with that mint tape. Now this is the Smitten Pair stencil, and I'm coming in with this black soot, just kind of heavier handed around the edges, and then I will go lighter handed in the center. Now you could go really, really heavy handed, and maybe even use a pigment ink if you wanted to, if you really wanted to block out the hearts underneath, but I wanted that feature or that element to poke through. So I was kind of deliberately going a little bit lighter handed just because I wanted to show that layering and kind of build that into my design. So you can see I'm lighter handed in the center, but I do end up kind of covering that whole opening with that black soot color. I'm just kind of going in layers, getting ink all over my hands in true form, and then that will create this really cool silhouette with the hearts kind of flowing all throughout it. So you can see I'm just working through this process, holding it down when I go in between the two faces, like I said again, because I did not use pixie spray, but you'd have an easier time if you did use pixie spray. So here I'm just going to carefully remove this. You can see how hard it's holding down that stencil. It's really sticky when it comes to holding down the card panels and the actual stencils. Now here I'm looking to see what colors I have, if there's anything that will work with the colors I chose with the ink blending, which I really didn't, but I knew I wanted to use the Love You stamp that coordinates with this. So I realized I didn't have the right color, so I'm going to put that away. But this is my storage solution for my die cuts. These are baseball card pockets, and I store all the die cuts that are ready to go in there. And I have this gorgeous Love You stamp and coordinating die that I got from, I think it's Honeybee Stamps. I will link it below in the video description box, but I'm just going to put those in there directly down on the card base. If I had a color that matched and wasn't being lazy, then I would have popped it up with some foam, but I thought I'm just going to liquid glue it down and it'll be fine. Just going to round a couple of the corners with my corner chomper, and then look how perfect those fit in there. It's as if it was made for it. So that was really convenient. Here I'm going to use my liquid glue and my tweezers just to put these in place. Add a diagonal, again kind of nestling in perfect into that space, And that's going to finish the basic design of the card. However, I am going to come in with that blingage. Now, if you've ordered from Mary Kay before, then you know in recent orders you would have probably gotten a little sample pack like this of these little sequins. But now, like I said, you can buy them in the shop, and this is brand new to the shop. So you'll get a bigger portion than what you see here when you purchase them. This is just a little sample portion you'll get with your orders. But if you want to control what colors you get and get more of them, then definitely check that out in the shop. And again, you can use my coupon AmyFan10 and get 10% off of your complete order, which does include these new blingage in the shop. So that's going to finish my card. Super easy. Now I have a card ready for Valentine's Day from my hubby, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.